In 2019, the world watched in disbelief as a fire broke out at Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. In the immediate aftermath, builders and architects committed to rebuilding the structure to her former glory. But it was a team of acousticians who would make a surprising discovery that would inform the reconstruction process. Now, before the reconstruction and before the fire, our story begins in 2015, when Brian Katz had the opportunity to record a concert inside this grand old cathedral.
There was a concert. It was for the 850th anniversary of Notre Dame. We had an opportunity to go and record that. And from that, we got in again and were able to do some acoustic measurements. And using those measurements, we were able to build the 3D model. And from that, actually recreate the whole concert so that you could fly around on kind of a magic carpet.
After creating the model of Notre Dame, Brian moved on to other work. But that would all change after the fire.
I remember I was working at home and my wife was watching television and she said that there was a fire in Notre Dame, and I didn't really pay that much attention to it. But then after like half an hour, you start to see the pictures and you start to realizing kind of how serious it is. Quite soon after the fire, I got a message from a colleague asking me if I still had the measurements that we had done, and kind of realized how important those could be. And we started asking around to see if in any other labs or if there was any other records. And no other lab had published records of the acoustics of Notre Dame. So that really kind of put us in an interesting position of going forward, of what we could do and help kind of the restoration project.
Brian partnered with a team of acousticians who collected data that would be used to consult and advise the Reconstruction Committee. The first task was to get inside the cathedral and take acoustic measurements after the fire, but that proved to be more challenging than you would think.
So we weren't allowed to be in the center of the cathedral because of the fear of the vault falling. And we found a company that rented sewer inspection robots, which kind of have some good traction in the tires and enough force to pull. So we rented one of those for the day, hooked up a series of 2 or 3 tripods on wheels, and it kind of pulled all of our microphones down the center of Notre Dame while we were doing measurements.
The basic idea is we are trying to create a grid across the entire occupied regions of the cathedral. Basically a trace of the sound as it moves from the loudspeaker where we've placed it to a variety of microphones scattered across the area. It gives us an awful lot of spatial information and a lot of energetic information as well. We're looking at things like reverberation time. We're looking at things like the center time, which is the balance of early and late energy within the impulse. These things help us document, but they also help us to understand the acoustics of the cathedral in a sort of human scale and human perspective.
As the world celebrates the reopening of Notre Dame, Brian and Sarabeth's research is being adapted to allow new audiences to experience the sights and the sounds of this historic cathedral.
So the latest kind of production of public outreach that we have is a film called Vaulted Harmonies, which is a virtual concert. And we just had the showing, it was last Friday. So this was kind of the premiere of the film. And now we're looking at more ways to kind of show it. And we're looking at making some derivatives of the film, either in a planetarium version or in a VR headset version that would be free either on the Quest store or on a web app where you can actually pick where you want to listen during the music pieces.
It's been quite easy for me to lose track of maybe the larger interest and impact that the work that I've been doing with Brian really does have. So yeah, I'm very excited to see this film come out. I'm excited to see it shared in a way that's a bit more digestible for the rest of the world.